And now we are on to how you got into running for MP for Ugenya.
Yeah, having established Dongogdala, which translates to develop your village.
Yeah.
And educating the villagers on how to use the resources they have to develop themselves. The villagers actually pushed me to join politics. It was not my intention to join politics. They pushed me to do that. And then 2017, I remember I registered, I paid the nomination fee to vie for Member of Parliament for Ugenya. That was 250,000 shillings. So after paying that, I was, suddenly, I don't know, something happened. My name was not gazetted as one of the candidates to take part in the nomination. And so I was not able to take part in the nomination. So when I met the party leader and explained to them that I paid this money, but my name did not come out, so what do I do? Then at that point, because the party leader was my friend, so I didn't want to really create problems. So I let it go, and then I decided to support the candidates who were running at that time. So in 2019, Ugenya went back for an election. So I went to the party, asked them, can you allow me now to go into nomination since you did not allow me last time? The MP who was there, he said, do not give this guy nomination because I'm the one who, so he prevailed upon the party not to do a nomination. And so I had one of my friends who is the MP for Kangundo, Mr. Fabian Muli, he has a party called the Grand Dream Development Party. So he told me, look, don't bother with those guys. They will never respect you if you don't have your own party. I will give you my ticket. You run with it. So, so he actually, he offered me his party ticket. And so when this guy got the direct ticket, I actually announced my resignation from the ODM party, and I joined the Grand Dream Development Party, and that's how I ran. And of course, campaigning there, these two other candidates, the campaign mode was basically voter bribery, giving money. And for me, I was against that. And so I remember buying sewing machines and donating it to women, different women groups, so that people could be able to learn how to sew. So that was my model of development. And also I started that office. I created Dongokdala offices in the various wards. So that was my mode of campaign. And when the election came, of course, because I did not have a lot of money to splash.
You were not releasing them.
Yeah, I'm not releasing them. And I was number 3. I was number 3 out of the 4 candidates. And I remember I was the only candidate who was there to concede defeat.
Conceded.
I conceded defeat. The other candidates were angry and they left. So me, I conceded defeat, and I was on KTN. I said, I do not, of course, this time the will of the people did not favor me, so I will support you. And that's how I conceded. And since then, of course, I came back, of course, to my work.
So before that,
yes.
Daniel. So 2017, the people really pushed you to run for MP. They wanted you as their leader,
yes,
correct?
Yes.
And then that didn't happen because your name was not gazetted. Then 2 years later, 2019, the opportunity showed up again.
Yes.
So the window between 2017 to 2019, what I'm hearing you say, correct me if I'm wrong, is that the passion to still serve the people in a political office was still alive?
Yes.
Yes. So when you ran on a different party ticket, GDDP,
yeah.
And you didn't get that, and yes, you did the honorable thing and you conceded. What lesson did you learn from that? Because when you're serving at Kotra, until the people said, come and lead us, politics was not in your radar, was it?
So after working for Kotra for quite some time, I resigned and I joined the Global Peace Foundation. And when I was in Kotra, I was one of the people who helped to establish Global Peace Foundation here. When my boss came and had a meeting with President Kibaki, and President Kibaki requested them to set up this office here. So when I left Kotra, I now came and was appointed the CEO of Global Peace Foundation. So it is from the Global Peace Foundation that I was doing my politics as a side hustle. I was doing development work as a side hustle. And of course, as I told you, that's what drove me into politics. So I was still working, you know, and then doing this. I did not have this, and people were shocked because I'm one of those guys who did not resign my work.
Okay.
When I went into politics, I did not resign.
You didn't need to?
I didn't need to, because why would you resign your work? In America, people do not resign when they go for office. For example, for Kamala Harris was senator, and she ran for vice president. So when she won, that's when she resigned. So for me, I mean, I also wanted to show Kenyan professionals that you should not leave politics to politicians. You can be a professional and still vie for office.
Yeah.
Because the people whom you trust with these public resources, you know, politics is the allocation of resources and values. So if you entrust thieves with your resources and values, and you're saying politics is a dirty game, then you cannot blame them when they plunder your resources. That's what drove me into this. Because for me, I was seeing, fine, if I was using my little resources to bring change in the village, what if I was able to get access to CDF, for example? I would do much more. I actually wanted to create a revolving fund where I could send more young people to go and study abroad and come back and build their villages. I wanted to create millionaires in every homestead. So if I take you abroad and you create money, you get a job, you help your sister, you help your family. So I figured that is what we lacked. And of course, coming from Luoland, we have had this preoccupation with presidency. Some people just want handouts. They want handouts because the politicians have made them into this manner. They have created, they have impoverished them to the level whereby they can't think for themselves. So when they see a politician, they want to be given a handout. So for me, I was looking at how do I help my fellow Luo people in the village so that they can be able to get rid of that beggar mentality and be able to develop themselves. So for me, that was my philosophy that drove me into politics. And having lost that, it was a lesson learned because I learned a lot. I learned what to do to win because I could see what my opponents did to win. They played dirty. They bribed voters. That means that you must have a lot of money. You must have some budget. So my message is I need to make some money so that I was able to facilitate. Actually, this voter bribery, the politicians call it facilitation for transport. So when we had a security meeting, I accused them of bribing voters, but they said we are giving them transport because they were coming to. So MPs have found an excuse for voter bribery, and so now it's almost legal. It's just that it is not, but it's there. So I said, let me make money so that I can be able to do this and come back at a later time. So I was planning to come back in 2022. But unfortunately, last year I lost my daughter. I had my third daughter, my third child. She died after 3 months. So during that time, of course, she was in hospital, and it really took a toll on me, you know, and also financially. You know, the bill was really, really too much. So after that, I decided that I will take a break for this year so that I don't stress myself again. So what I did this year was getting involved in, of course, the peace campaigns. I've been one of the people who, I sit on the steering committee of Kenya Daima, and also Global Peace Foundation. Now we've been really doing campaigns to ask people to vote peacefully. And one of the proudest moments that this year people voted, and you know, what we've been urging these politicians is that once these people have voted for you, release them. You understand? Kwa Kiswahili nasema wajibu wangu. Wajibu wangu kama mpiga kura ni kupiga kura. After I vote for you, it is the responsibility of IBC, count the votes, and then declare the winners. And if you are a contestant, if you're not happy with the results, you do what? You go to court. You understand? Yeah. So one of my main campaign was that, unlike 2007, 2008, this year's election and future elections should not be adjudicated in the streets. Let it be adjudicated in the courts. So I was very, very happy when even there was a dispute like there was in 2017 and 2013, that the protagonists decided to go to court. When you go to court, now people can now see for themselves, and then they can be able to understand. Lakini hiyo kusema ati kama mtu wako ameshindwa unachukua panga unapiga mwingine. That should not be there.
Never be
And
there.
I am happy that we have reached a point where we are civilizing our politics.